Hello and welcome to the MES tool release highlights of winter 2025-26. Today we will talk about the MES quality commander MQC, the quality monitoring tool of choice. New with version 8.4 is an export of quality data for further processing by external systems. Export quality data for use and further processing outside of MQC, allowing for inclusion in broader company dashboards, analytics, and other use cases. Automate exports based on a schedule or after new data has been imported to ensure that the exported quality data is up to date. Configure the export in format and scope, or implement your own adapter for the export. Let's have a look into MQC. Here we can see the quality page of our showcase. We can see on top the revisions of our showcase over time, where the quality improves. In the middle we can see the heat map that shows the current selected revision with a matrix of artifacts and quality properties. In addition to that, we also see some structures, which are the subcharacteristics and the teams to the top and left. We can enable more structures or configure different ones, but at the moment these are the ones that we are concerned about. So now if we want to export these values that we see here, we first have to ensure the export connector is enabled. The export connector is an adapter that is shipped with MQC. At the moment this is the only adapter for exports, which is for the export of quality for revisions, artifacts, and quality properties. If you want to add your own custom adapter, have a look into the user guide to see how it is done. After the adapter is enabled, we can go to the new export dialog to add a new export. First, select the relevant connector, in this case the quality file exporter, and select the dimension that we want to export. So do we want to export the matrix of artifacts to quality properties, or do we want to just have the matrix of the structures? So the matrix of teams to subcharacteristics, for example. We can set other settings, like if we want to include milestones, a quality assessment scope, or if we want to limit the time. And we can even define if we want to have rounding and diff values. Or maybe we want to include the diff values for revisions. Then we can choose a format, JSON or YAML, and the type of the output. Do we want to have a flat list, or do we want to have an hierarchical display where it goes from revisions to artifacts to quality structures? Let's stay with the flat list for now. The next step is to choose an output directory. We already prepared one in the MQC directory. We created an export folder and we select it. Next comes the file name. The file name is more than just the name. It's also about what is exported. So is just one big file exported, or do we have multiple files? If we use a revision placeholder, we get one file per revision. If we use a datetime folder, datetime placeholder, we get one file for imported dates. Let's choose the revision to get multiple files and have a look at the triggers. We have three different types of triggers. One is the client-side refresh, then we have the server-side refresh. So every time we import new data, we get a new export. And we have the server-side schedule. So we can add a schedule that is creating an export at a very specific time. For example, let's choose 12 o'clock every day. So we have now a schedule created. After we add the export, we can save it to our project. And now let's have a look into our export folder. At the moment, this folder is still empty because we have not yet triggered our export. The export is only triggered automatically if these triggers are valid. Otherwise, we can also trigger it manually by clicking on the execute button. The export is quite fast and it was already executed. Let's look back into the folder and we can see that for each revision, an export was created. Another way of verifying that you get exactly what you want in your export, you can also use the download function to directly get everything in one file. When I click on it, I get the export as a download. And when I open it, you can see that I get all these items here for all the different dates in combination of quality characteristic and team with a value and a diff value. Of course, the first revisions don't really have a value, but here we can see a value and a diff value. And that's pretty much it about the new export in MQC. Thank you for listening. My name is David Frerich. For more information, visit our website. You can request an evaluation of MQC. And of course, you can follow us on our socials, especially LinkedIn. That's it for today. See you next time.